Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A comedy quiz show, You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx. This episode goes all the way back to June 2nd, 1954, and now we are going to hear George Fenneman tell everybody what is this week's secret word.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is clock. C-L-O-C-K.
Really?
You bet your life. It's Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood and brought to you by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers. The dealers who have on display the outstanding DeSoto Automatic with fully automatic power flight transmission and the all-new Plymouth, your best buy in the low-priced field. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
That's me, George Fenneman. No, that's me, Groucho Marx. Well, here I am with 1,000 doubloons for one of our couples tonight. Well, take off, Mr. Fenneman. Who's first?
Well, Groucho, we have some people with interesting stories for you tonight. They're Mr. Harry Myers and Mrs. Alice Braben. They're waiting outside to meet you. So, folks, you come in now, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, folks, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, it's something you see every day. Mrs. Alice Braben and Mr. Harry Myers. Mr. Myers, you're a fine-looking gent.
Well, thank you, Groucho.
And you certainly don't look your age. By the way, how old are you? About 86?
You're missed it about 20 years, Groucho.
You mean you're 106?
No.
Say you don't look it. You don't look a day over 66. Are you married, Harry?
Groucho, I've been married for 21 years to a very lovely blonde.
Is that so? Is
Yes.
she still a blonde?
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm. Well, most of the people we get up here have some claim to fame. What is yours? And don't say a scotch and soda because that's an old joke. Has anything unusual happened to you?
Well, back in 1904, I was the first person arrested for speeding in an automobile.
Well, shake hands. I was the last man arrested for speeding. I got finished this afternoon. How fast were you hitting it up, Harry?
I was driving a 1904 Winton, going at 12 miles an hour in a 10-mile-an-hour zone, and was chased by a policeman on a bicycle in a speed trap.
And he caught you?
He caught me, and I went to court and paid $7.
What sort of work do you do, Harry?
On the 4th of July, I produced the fireworks show in the Coliseum for the American Legion.
And that's your job? You just blow your top one day a year? What do you do with the other 364 days?
Well,
sell sunglasses for eclipses or something?
Groucho, that isn't a one-day job. It takes about 6 months to build this show.
It does?
To get it ready for preparation because it's the world's largest fireworks show.
Uh-huh. Well, you must get a big bang out of a job like that, don't you?
Indeed, yes, and I've been doing it for 22 years.
And you blow everything up?
Blow everything up in about an hour's time.
Mrs. Braben, is that you?
Yes.
That's a good old Irish name, Braben. Where are you from?
Lapland.
Where?
Lapland.
Lapland. Oh, Lapland. Is there really such a place as Lapland?
Yes, it's the northern part of Finland.
It's in the northern part of Finland?
Yes, sir.
Is that so? Well, you see, I learned something here tonight. I always thought Lapland was where good secretaries go when they die. Well, what is it like in Lapland? It must be pretty cold there. Huh?
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah, well, it can be cold and beautiful. I once had a girl like that.
Rolling tundra and snow-capped mountains and...
Rolling tundras?
Tundra.
Dundras.
No, tundra. Tundra.
Oh, she has some notion that I can spell. Well, you have some refreshing points of view, Alice. Do you have any advice to people in general that you could impart at this time?
Oh, one of them is to them should mind their own business.
No. I didn't mean me. I meant the other people. You didn't mean me. Well, I was going to ask your age, but since it's none of my business, I won't. That doesn't concern anybody, Alice. And anybody that wants to know is just an old busybody. Isn't that true?
Sure.
Now then, who was president when you were born? Do you remember?
Tsar Nicholas II.
Who?
Tsar Nicholas II.
Nicholas II. Who's he?
The last emperor of Russia. Finland belonged to Russia in those days.
Oh, and Lapland was in Finland?
Mm-hmm.
And where's Lapland now? Is it still in Finland?
Yes, sir.
And now the whole thing belongs to Russia.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
It doesn't. I knew I'd get a rise out of her. Well, let's hope it doesn't, mate, and let's hope it remains that way, Alice.
Thank you.
I would like to go on talking to you two, but it's time to win some money. We start you off with a bankroll of $100. Each time you miss a question, you lose half your bankroll. Anytime you feel you've won more than our other couples, you can quit. You don't have to take all 4 questions. Clear?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, you selected the animal kingdom, and remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what do you want to start with? And remember, one answer between you, your partners.
About $70.
Okay.
$70.
Okay, what kind of birds are widgeons, teals, and mallards?
Ducks.
Ducks is right. You better talk it over here.
You now...
He might have another answer. You keep out of this.
I will, yes. I'm just going to say that you now have $170 in your bankroll.
Yes. Now, what do you want to do? You want to proceed?
Yes,
So
sir.
for 60?
80.
80? Okay. $80.
$80. What is another name for a hedgehog? Now, just talk it over. Hedgehog.
Isn't it a gopher?
No, I'm sorry. It's a porcupine.
Well, you now have $85. You lost half your bankroll.
Now, don't get discouraged. Now, what do you want to try?
So for 60 now.
All right.
For $60.
$60. What do you call a young hen?
A pullet.
I'll agree with that.
Okay, pullet is right.
You now have $145.
Now you're climbing again. What do you want to try? It's your last chance to be the other couple.
Go for 80.
All right, 80.
$80.
$80. What is an... No, we had an $80.
Yeah, we...
Let's go for 90 then.
All right.
90. What kind of animals are Poland Chinas, Duroc Jerseys, and Chester Whites?
Pigs.
What is it?
Pigs.
Pigs is right.
And you wind up with $235.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Well, I'm sure Groucho got a blast out of that couple. You Bet Your Life, June 2nd, 1954, on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, now more of Groucho Marx and You Bet Your Life from June 2nd, 1954.
Okay, George, who's next?
Well, Groucho, we have a man with an interesting job and a housewife. And here they are, Mrs. Luann Meatus, Mr. Charles Carpenter. Would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx?
Well, welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Luann Meatus, eh? Well, I'm glad to meet us, eh? And Mr. Charles Carpenter.
Correct.
Mrs. Meatus, is that the way you pronounce it?
That's right, Groucho.
Since you're more my type, I'll start with you. Are you a local girl?
Well, I'm as local as almost anyone in Los Angeles. I'm living here now, but I'm originally from Chicago.
Uh-huh.
I've been out here 3 years.
You like it out here?
I love it out here.
How long have you been married?
A little over 2 years, and I have a lovely 15-month-old son.
Uh-huh. What sort of work does your husband do?
My husband's an attorney at law, Groucho.
A lawyer?
A lawyer.
Oh, well, I'll bet he's a prince of a fellow, is he?
He certainly is.
I'd say you were about 21, is that right?
Oh, how flattering.
Of course I'm flattering. You think I want to get socked with a briefcase? However, I'm not too far away, am I?
Not too.
As a lawyer's wife, how much do you know about his work? For example, how does he go about preparing a case?
Well, he gets the facts from his clients and goes about getting evidence to substantiate their pleas, and then he goes about preparing briefs, and then prepares his cases in court, or presents them in court.
Does he win all his suits?
Well, he misses one occasionally. Nobody's perfect.
Well, he occasionally loses his suits. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, that explains why he's so careful about his briefs, I guess. He just wants to look good in front of the jury. What sort of work do you do, Mr. Carpenter?
I'm a real estate broker.
Really? Well, who have you broken lately?
Broken anyone?
Yes.
Myself, primarily.
Oh, well, is this a full-time occupation, or do you have other interests, like something legal?
Well, I do some blind buying at auctions.
You mean you're loaded when you buy things then?
Not necessarily. Maybe it would help, though.
You mean you buy things without knowing exactly what they are?
That is correct.
That's like getting married.
Almost.
Well, specifically, what have you bought at auction?
Oh, about a year ago, I bought a lot here at a tax sale on Sunset Boulevard for $250.
Property there sells for around $5,000 a foot, doesn't it?
That's right.
On Sunset Boulevard. How big was this lot?
18 inches by 150 feet.
You're sort of the local boy wonder of Wall Street, aren't you? What did you do with this lot? Did you store flagpoles on it?
No, there was a signboard on it. I figured I'd get some rent out of it, and so I contacted the sign company, and they moved the sign.
Well, what are you doing with this lot now?
I'm waiting for someone else. I'm not paying the taxes, so it'll be up for tax sale again.
And you plan on buying it again?
Oh, no. I'm waiting for someone else to step into my shoes.
Oh. Well, what are some of the other shrewd bargains that you've made?
Well, I bought 80 acres of land on top of a mountain up in Ventura County.
That sounds like a pretty good deal.
Well, there's no road to it.
Isn't there a helicopter goes up there?
Well, it's flat on top, they tell me. And
you've never been up there?
I can't get to it.
You bought this sight unseen?
Oh, yes.
What are some of the other smart bargains you've purchased?
Well, I bought a small lot out in the west side of Los Angeles. It was 3 feet by 6 feet by 9 feet. It was in a cornfield. Just a good site for a telephone booth, maybe.
Well, where do these little lots come from? And don't tell me the stork delivers them.
No, they are surveyors' mistakes. And some of them are mine.
Well, you certainly know your onions, Chuck. You don't know anything about real estate, but you certainly know your onions. Well, I'd like to continue talking to you two, but now it's time to play You Bet Your Life.
In the race for the $1,000, the first couple won $235, and the secret word is clock.
Now, you selected movie quiz, and remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what question do you want to start with? And remember, one answer between you.
That's right.
$100.
$100. One of Hollywood's top directors turned out A Place in the Sun and Shane, among others. What is his name?
George.
Place in the Sun and Shane.
George Stevens. George Stevens.
George Stevens is correct.
You now have $200 in your bankroll.
Now, what do you want to try? 90? William Claude Duncanfield was the real name of what great comedian?
Fields. W.C. Fields.
That's right. W.C. Fields is right.
You now have $290.
Now, what do you want to try?
80.
80. Okay, for $80, who was the original Phantom of the Opera in the movies?
Lon Chaney Sr.
Lon Chaney is
Lon
good
Chaney
enough.
Sr.
You now have $370.
Now, what do you want to try? Last chance to beat the other couple.
What's left, 70?
You can quit? Yeah, 70.
70.
Here's the cast. William Holden, June Allison, Barbara Stanwyck, Frederick March, Walter Pidgeon, Shelley Winters, Paul Douglas, Louis
Executive
Calhoun.
Suite.
What's the picture?
Executive Suite.
Executive Suite is correct.
And you wind up with $440 in your bankroll.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Fenneman, on with the show. Who's next?
Well, Groucho, I saw a piece in the paper not so long ago about some people with a very unusual story. So I got in touch with them, and I asked them to come down to our show any night they got a chance, and they're here tonight. So right now, I'd like you to meet Mrs. Yvette Bro and her daughter, Flash. Ladies, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Flash and Yvette Briault, eh? Is that right? Well, you're very charming young ladies. Which one is Flash?
I'm Flash.
You're Flash, eh? How old are you, Flash?
17.
And where's your hometown?
I was born here in L.A.
Yvette, if your daughter is 17, how old are you? You must be around 27, huh?
No, I'm 41.
41? Where are you from, Yvette?
Montreal, Canada. I'm a Canadian.
Oh. Do you speak French?
Oh, yes, I do. I wish you could talk, too.
I can barely talk English. Well, in addition to Flash, Yvette, do you have any other children?
Yes, I have 17 children.
Yvette, I didn't. My eyes are not what they used to be. What did you say?
17 children.
You have 17 children?
Yes, I do.
Yours?
Yes, all mine.
Well, I'd like to shake hands with you.
Thank you.
Flash, how does your father feel about this rather startling turn of events? Is he happy or just dazed?
Oh, my daddy loves children.
He must be quite a fellow, Yvette. What sort of job does he have?
He's working for Columbia Steel Company. He's a machinist.
Machinist?
Yes.
Well, let's find out about your brothers and sisters, Flash. Could you give us their ages?
Well, the oldest one is 23, 22, 21, 29.
Just a moment. The oldest is 23?
23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, and 2, and the baby's 3 months.
What happened to 4?
That's all there is.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful family, Mama, and
Well,
you're certainly to be congratulated.
Thank you.
It must be quite a job handling 17 children. Do you find it difficult?
Well, the first 10 are the most difficult.
Now, there's a statement I'd like to think about. Mama, what do you mean by that, the first 10 are the most difficult?
Well, now the oldest one that could help the smaller one now.
Oh, I see. Well,
They
for
were-
someone who's had 17 children, you look pretty healthy. How do you explain that?
Well, before I got married, I was sick and run down, and after I got married, and I have my health back, and now I'm getting stronger all the time.
Ladies, do you feel sick? Run down. Well, how about cooking for a gang like that? How do you manage it, Ma?
Well, I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I serve breakfast.
Wait a minute. You said clock, that's the secret word, so there's $50 for you
Thank
and $50
you.
for your daughter.
Thank you.
And see that she gets it later.
Yeah.
You're a remarkable woman, Yvette. 30 million
you.
housewives out there complain bitterly when they can't find a can opener. And you're up at 6 making oatmeal.
Mm-hmm.
How about food, Flash? Could you give us a rundown on a week's supply?
We got about 42 loaves of bread, 100 pounds of potato, 50 pounds of meat, 25 pounds of sugar, 25 heads of cabbage.
Well, do you have a truck to deliver this? Or?
No.
Oh.
Well, the grocery store is not far away from the house. There's always a line on the street to go to the store.
There's always someone running to the grocery
That's
store
right.
and someone on his way back. Huh?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cheaper to open up your own grocery store?
No, I don't think so. No business.
Well, how do you manage such a large family on one salary? It's a kind of a personal question, but you get any help?
Oh, yes. The older one helps to clothe the smaller one.
They're working?
Oh, yes. We have 5. They work.
5 of them are working?
Yes, and they all give the money to help the kids.
Groucho, I don't want to interrupt anything here, except we have sort of another surprise for you, I think. We not only invited Flash and her mother, but we invited the whole family to our show tonight. And,
Well, where are they?
Well, we'll find out where they are after this break. June 2nd, 1954, Groucho Marx, You Bet Your Life, on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now, these messages from your favorite radio station. Just going to take a minute here to tell you about the big savings going on now, the clearance sale at mypillow.com. And you know, I've talked about how in my office I have a pair of my slippers, and they're really comfortable, and they're on clearance right now. The mypillow.com slippers, $25 a pair, limit 10. And I would buy 3 or 4 more pairs. Unfortunately, they're out of my size. They also have sheets, pillowcases, clothing items, all on special right now. Go to mypillow.com, click on the clearance tab at the top of the page, use my promo code Wyatt, or call 1-800-928-4715. Limited sizes remaining in the MyPillow slippers, limited colors on other items. mypillow.com, clearance tab, promo code Wyatt, 1-800-928-4715. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. Now the conclusion of Groucho Marx and You Bet Your Life from June 2nd, 1954.
well, they're out in the audience.
Will the Briol family please stand up? Come out, wherever you are.
When they get in, you get out front. You want to get over there? Like that?
Now I know how Custer felt when the Indians surrounded him. Say, if you ever move out of Los Angeles, Philadelphia's going to be third again. Maybe. Well, congratulations, Mr. Briault. You certainly have a wonderful family.
Thank you very much.
And if you want to dispose of a few of them, I just send them over to my house. Well, now, what about the quiz? Which of you wants to take part? Now, wait a minute. Any family that has to buy 56 quarts of milk and 50 pounds of potatoes deserves a break. Should we let the whole family answer the quiz? And I suppose the audience, too, huh? Now, get together and make up your minds now. Real fast, remember? We start you off with $100. If you miss a question, you lose half your bankroll. And you can quit any time you want.
In the race for the $1,000, the lawyer's wife and Mr. Carpenter are leading with $440.
Okay, now let's see how much money you can make. You selected culinary quiz.
I'll start with 70.
What are you going to start with?
70.
Why say it, Pop?
70? Yes, 70.
70, Dorlea? What is the name for a thick Italian vegetable soup?
Italian. Cuckoo. Ravioli.
One answer now. Come on. Talk it over.
Italian.
Take a guess if you don't know. Goulash? No, it's minestrone.
No.
Well, this will never do. This baby needs milk.
Well, you still have $50 of your original 100.
All right, now what are you going to try?
No, we're going to try 30 on that.
30?
Yeah.
The word Bermuda is associated with what kind of vegetable? Bermuda what?
Kitten.
Hey, you can answer too, you know.
No, I don't know.
Bermuda onions.
Oh, okay.
You must have cooked a lot of onions for this gang,
Yeah,
haven't you?
but-
Huh?
Not Bermuda. You now have $25.
I'll take 60.
60. What meat do you associate with Yorkshire pudding?
Yorkshire.
Beef?
Beef is right, roast beef.
You now have $85.
And this is your last chance to beat the other couples. Now, what do you want to try?
Whole thing.
The whole thing.
The whole thing, $100? All right. What do you call the liquid portion of separated sour milk?
Skim milk.
Sour cream. Sour cream.
No, it's whey. W-H-E-Y.
Gee, I'm sorry. You wind up with $42.50 in your bankroll.
Well,
$42. See, you didn't earn as much in the quiz as I hoped you would.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the DeSoto Plymouth dealers would like to show you our appreciation for coming here tonight. How about an automatic washing machine? Could you use anything like that?
yeah, I would like that very much.
Would you like that?
Yeah.
Well, and you won the secret word? Well, we can't help you in the quiz, but we're going to give you $10 to each kid for winning the secret word. So that gives you $170 and a washing machine and whatever you won just now in the quiz.
$42.50.
So you get over
Thank
it.
you very much.
Thanks and good luck to the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Good night, young man.
And that means that the lawyer's wife and Mr. Carpenter with $440 in just 1 minute get a chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question. And here comes our winning couple, Groucho, the lawyer's wife and Mr. Carpenter, all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question. Right in here.
All right, here we go for $1,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully, and please no help from the audience. Here it is. Let's see how well you know your states. For $1,000, tell me the name of the capital of Kentucky.
It's the only one I can think of.
What is the answer you two have decided upon?
The only name I can think of is Louisville.
Well, you're a racetrack fan, I guess, but it's Frankfurt. So that means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. Well, you lost the big money, but you did pretty good in the quiz. How much, George?
$440 in the quiz.
Congratulations, and thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Thank you, Groucho.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $1,500. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also brought to you by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember that the dealers who sell the outstanding DeSoto Automatic with fully automatic power flight transmission also have on display the remarkable new Plymouth, engineered and built to be your best buy in the low-priced field. DeSoto, Plymouth. Two great new cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to see the DeSoto Automatic.
Groucho Marx and the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America salute Atlantic City, which this year is celebrating its 100th birthday. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jack Meakin. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.
Yes, find you a DeSoto Plymouth dealer today. Good luck. June 2nd, 1954. But don't you love Groucho and the show and the company had heart with that last group. June 2nd, 1954, You Bet Your Life on Classic Radio Theater, here with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. We're going to go back to 1935 for an episode of the short-run series, The Origin of Superstition, and the superstition of whistling in a dressing room.
Superstition on the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to offer you another short story in the series designed to disclose the origin of superstitions. This time we take you backstage into the glamorous realm of the actor, where the popular belief is prevalent that whistling in a dressing room will bring bad luck. Come in.
Hello, Don.
Why, Charlie. Hello, old man. It's been years since I've seen you.
Rather.
When did you come east, Charlie?
Just got in yesterday. Came to the theater tonight when I saw you were playing here. You gave a great performance, Don.
Thanks, Charlie. Glad you liked it. Tell me something about yourself. What are you doing now? Still working on that travel book?
Just finished it. That's what I'm east for, to see the publishers.
Hello, Don. How's things?
Oh, hello, Nat. Come in and meet an old friend of mine. Charlie, this is Mr.
Nat's the name, old boy. Just call me Nat.
This is Charlie Bradford, Nat.
Pleased to meet you, Nat.
Yeah, sure. Why not? You're looking at Broadway star reporter. Say, Don, we're throwing a party up at Silky's, and the gang wants you to come up. Hey, bring your friend. The more the merrier. Well, I'll be seeing you.
Hey, Nat! Stop that whistling in this dressing room. Good heavens, man. What do you want to do, bring me bad luck?
No, but say, Don, the next time you throw anything at a guy, pick something softer than this hairbrush.
Next time it'll be a chair, whistling in my dressing room. Why, you're...
All right, Don, don't get excited. I'm sorry. I forgot about your quaint belief. Well, so long. See you at the party.
That ignoramus whistling in here. He's been around show people too long not to know that's one of the worst things he can do.
Why, Don, you don't mean you really believe in that superstition?
I surely do. It's been passed down from generation to generation. Why, it's a tradition.
Yes, I know, Don, but after all, traditions sometimes are absurd. And in the case of this particular one, it was due entirely to a misconception of a young man's motive that superstition began.
You mean to say you know the actual incident which that superstition is based upon, Charlie?
Yes. In the course of the research that I had to do in my book, I came across data that enabled me to piece the story of that superstition together.
Well, interesting, Charlie. Tell me about it while I'm taking off my makeup.
Sure, I'd be glad to. Of course, Don, it'll hardly be necessary for me to remind you that in the time of Shakespeare, and in fact until about 1660, women never trod the boards.
I should say not, Charlie. It would have been considered indecent for a woman to play in a theater in those days.
Do you know, Don, it's interesting to speculate on how clever those young men and boys must have been in their characterizations of women and young girls.
That's quite right, Charlie. Otherwise, Shakespeare certainly wouldn't have written such parts as Cleopatra for their interpretation.
I know. And this story deals with a young actor by the name of Allen. He was a member of a company of players in London in the year 1642, and was a great favorite because of his cleverness in playing feminine parts. Allen was deeply in love with a beautiful young girl whose name was Anne. One day, before the opening of an afternoon's performance, he went to Anne's home to propose to her. He serenaded her first with her favorite song, a popular love ballad of the day. He was singing his very heart in the lovely strains. And seal my lips with love's red sweet wine, and give me touch and glances warm. Oh, if I ne'er could call thee mine, cruel death by me were calmly borne.
Ah, 'tis beautiful, Alan.
Dear Anne, happiness itself lies in bringing thee pleasure. That's all I ask of life.
Dear Alan, you've been such a sweet friend.
Friend? Why is it that you always speak of me as friend, Anne, my sweet? Don't you know
Alan,
that...
you must not think me cruel in what I'm about to tell you.
Speak, Anne. What is it?
You are aware, Alan, that I have always loved you as a very dear friend. But there is someone else I love dearly, too. And but last week, I promised to become his bride.
Oh, nay, Anne. You cannot mean that.
Forgive me, dear Alan, but I do mean it.
Oh, alack, I love thee so, Anne, darling. You're the very essence of life to me.
But alas, I can never love you that way, Alan. But we will always be friends.
Nay, 'tis impossible. I love thee too well, Anne. Oh, the knowledge that you belong to another would drive me mad.
Oh, Alan, dear, I'd have given much to have spared thee this hurt, but I had to tell you the truth.
Very well then, Anne. This is final. I'd best go. 'Tis destiny that sweetest dreams must sometimes end. Well, I must get to the theatre, to my work. 'Tis all I have left. Fare thee well, my sweet.
William, have I this moustache on straight? Zounds, this mirror is so dull.
Why, it is all right, Edward. But tell me, can you recall that line in the second episode? You know, the one I always fumble. Is it, "Methinks the Duke looks pale today"?
That's right, William. By the way, where is Alan? 'Tis late and he won't have much time in which to dress.
Did you not see him this afternoon, Edward?
No, he was not at his lodgings when I called.
Ah, here he is now, Edward. Greetings, Alan.
Greetings, my friend.
What has made you so late, Alan? You had best hurry. Old Becker says the performance must start on time this afternoon.
Oh, I'll be ready, Edward.
Did you notice much of a crowd on your way in, Alan?
What, William? Oh, crowd. Yes, there was, I think, quite a gathering.
Ah, 'tis fine. For what can make an actor merrier than a goodly crowd?
Nothing, except it be a goodly sum in his purse at the end of the week, William.
Oh, thou hast the soul of a beef merchant, Edward. But what care I, ta-ra?
Stop that! Stop that, I tell you!
Why, what's the matter, Alan?
Oh, I can't stand that whistling, William. It's maddening.
Aha! Faith, our friend is of a very ill humor this afternoon.
Stop that infernal whistling or I'll silence your tongue with my sword!
Zounds, you're what?
Stop, William. Alan, are you both mad?
The performance is ready to start.
Let's go. Come on. William, you've got to get on the stage. Alan, you must finish dressing.
You and I will have our reckoning later, Alan.
Whistling? My love song.
What did you say, Alan?
Oh, nothing, Edward, nothing. I was just...
Why, Alan, what's the matter with you? Why, you're shaking. You shouldn't let yourself get so upset.
Oh, but that whistling maddened me, Edward. It jangled my nerves.
Well, pull yourself together, Alan. You have to go on now.
I'm ready. Let us go, Edward.
Alan, you look so white, and your eyes are rather strange.
Oh, I'll be all right, Edward.
Well, here, Alan, you've got to make your entrance now.
Come on, get on stage. There's your cue.
Yes, Master Becker. I'm going on now. Ah, greetings, lad.
What's the matter with Alan, Edward?
Why, nothing, Master Becker. He's...
How come that stage like he's angry? What do you think he's playing, the villain? After all, frowns don't become the part of a lovely young damsel. What's the matter with him? He's floundering in his lines. Why doesn't he let the prompter set him straight?
Please don't get excited, Master Becker. Alan's upset and nervous.
Zounds, I'll teach him to be upset and nervous on my stage. What's he upset about?
Well, 'twas like this, Master Becker. William started to whistle as we were dressing. Alan is very high-strung, and it had a peculiar effect on him. It seemed to crazy him.
Well, heaven be thanked, he's only got one more speech in this scene. He's giving a terrible performance. He's coming off now.
Until tomorrow's moon shall light the path of love. Farewell.
Alan, a word with you.
Very well, Master Becker.
You're all right at rehearsal this morning. What's got into you now?
Oh, I'm a trifle unstrung this afternoon, Master Becker. Here's the dressing room. Will you step in?
Yes. Now, let me tell you, if you give performances like this, I'll boot you out.
I'm sorry, sir, but I'm just not myself right now. Or perhaps if you'll be so good as to leave me alone a bit, I'll be able to pull myself together.
Stuff and nonsense. You young cocks nowadays are full of notions. But look to it. If you don't give a better performance, out you go.
Oh, what's the good? There's only one thing in my brain now. Anne, my work, my life, everything was wrapped up in you, and now it's over. Oh, if I ne'er could call thee mine, cruel death, death, death. Yes, that's it. Oh, why go on? There's no answer to my existence without you, Anne. My dagger, here it is. And this, the end.
Alan? Why, Alan, by the gods. Master Becker, come, quick. Alan has stabbed himself.
What does you say? We must get a doctor, quick.
No, it's no use, Master Becker. He is dead.
What caused him to kill himself, Edward? Has he had any trouble?
No.
No, nothing. He was all right until William began whistling in the dressing room. Alack, that whistling must have brought in the spirits of evil.
Aye, Charlie, it must have been some evil spirit that prompted Alan to take his own life.
And soon after Alan's suicide, the theaters were suppressed, for it was believed that their immorality had increased the plague, which had been raging intermittently in England for years. The fact that for 18 years afterward no theater was reopened there further strengthened the actors' belief in the evil of whistling in the dressing room. They held it responsible for bringing them bad luck, which was absurd, for the Puritans had been endeavoring for years to close the theaters. So you see how foolish that superstition is, Don?
Foolish? Well, it drove that poor Alan to kill himself, didn't it?
But, Don, don't you see? Alan's motive for committing suicide wasn't because of the whistling, but because Anne was going to marry someone else. His companions were ignorant of that fact, and believed it was the whistling in the dressing room that caused Alan to become so crazed that he killed himself.
Yes, that's true, but... Come in.
Oh, Mr. Donald Nevins?
Yes?
I'm a representative for Mr. Valesco. He wishes to see you tomorrow in reference to the leading part in one of his forthcoming productions.
Very well. Thank you.
Oh, good night, Mr. Nevins.
Good night, sir. What a break! Do you realize what that means, Charlie? A leading part in a Valesco production. Why, it'll be the making of me. Oh, boy.
Congratulations, Don. And you were worried about having bad luck because Nat whistled in your dressing room. Now do you still believe in that superstition?
Why, this is only a coincidence, Charlie. And so, ladies and gentlemen, even though Don had no bad luck, he still believes that whistling in the dressing room is an omen of evil. Au revoir, and good luck to you.
From 1935, The Origin of Superstition, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Thank this station. Support their advertisers, if you would please. Their kindness and courtesy allow us to be with you each and every time you roll around here on your favorite station. Now, if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. All of our shows are available via podcast or by download or on demand. Go to classicradio.stream for all that information. You can stream the shows there. You can learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. Contact me, find our social media links, and if you'd like to support us, you can buy me a coffee. That Buy Me a Coffee money goes toward us acquiring additional classic radio collections and maintaining our distribution channel so you can hear us here on your favorite station. Thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.